My name is Jake Goddard, and I'm here to tell you the story of a cartoon all about a small town in South Wales you have probably never heard of, Ebbw Vale. The cartoon, titled The Vale, came about in 2019 and has grown a sizable cult following in the Welsh valleys. It's outrageous, wacky and hilariously funny. It's been compared to cartoons like South Park and King of the Hill and has featured guest voices from people like David Firth, the creator of Salad Fingers. The cartoon follows the story of Tony, a socially awkward anime fan and his friends, along with his stepdad Beaton, a beer-drinking, swearing tough guy from the Welsh valleys. But more than just following the stories of the inhabitants of the town, The Vale is very much a love letter to Ebbw Vale from the creator Adam Llewellyn, who grew up there.
The fuck are you supposed to be?
How's this for an idea? What if we just stop fucking talking about shit anime for 2 fucking minutes? We fucking lose against Tredegar, I'll whip your shorts down and bum the lot of you. And I won't even take you in the showers either. Be out in the pitch in front of everyone. Who's Sabira Chance? She's this ginger monolith from Kevin Gola.
Hey, you are shit.
Unless that person has a mental disability, there is no excuse for that.
My name's Jeff, or as they call me around here, Sexy Jeff.
Oh, fuck's sake, sure. Why have I got to shit with that fucking gimp?
Oh, come on now. We can leave the banter till later.
This documentary follows Adam as he returns to his hometown to screen the final episodes of The Vale at the Market Hall Cinema, the oldest cinema in Wales.
Oh yeah. Look at that nice big vein. Oh, I love drawing. Spunky little drops. This is all I do all day.
Hello everyone, my name is Adam Llewellyn. I'm the creator, writer, director, or one of the writers for The Vale. A cartoon about Ebbw Vale, the greatest place on earth. And this is a little documentary all about it. To talk about the journey of how it all began, so I guess I kind of started doing films way back when I was probably when I was about 14. Used to use my grandfather's video camera and just run around Ebbw Vale with my friends, making we used to make shitty little Mortal Kombat movies, like these little Mortal Kombat fan films, because we were a bit sad basically, but just kind of got into it from there. Used to edit them together with two. Remember, used to do that old 2 video machines on top of each other and just kind of edit things together that way. And then I went to college when I was about 16, and it was a sort of a local media course I went to. Just with my friends, made fart joke films and stupid little silly sketch movies for ages, and then went to university like all good filmmakers do, and kind of pissed away 4 years of my life. And tried to do the filmmaking thing for a few years. Did music videos, tried to make a feature film, made short films. Nothing ever worked out until I finally relented, give up, and started doing this cartoon.
Bunny, have you hit my fucking wagon wheels or what? No, I didn't. You fucking have, you fat fuck. Get off my knee now. I'm gonna give...
How The Vale all came about originally, the sort of genesis of The Vale was, I was working as a teacher in... I was teaching sort of a part-time teacher in a media course in Ebbw Vale College. There was this one kid in my class whose stepfather, or maybe his father, came to pick him up once, and he was a bit like your Tony basically. He was, he was a nice kid, but he was just a bit really meek, and he was, and I didn't mean to rip on him, but it was his stepdad. But his stepdad just kind of came in and was all like, "Oh, why is he into all this shit for? Oh, I wish he'd go and do the rugby." And it just kind of really made me laugh. He was like this super valleys man that was kind of doomed with this kid that was completely opposite him in every way. And so I just did the beaten voice for ages to my friends, and we would all kind of do it. We would all kind of do this impression of this sort of really disappointed Valleys man. And then one day it was like the Easter holidays, and I had like 2 weeks off, and I was just sat in my room, and I just drew the first episode.
Fucking stop playing with your food, man.
I don't like salad.
I don't care, eat it.
Yeah, you got steak.
Tony, I'm not the fucking one that's the size of a fucking beach whale, but...
My name's not Tony, it's Anthony.
And that's another thing, You go to college today, then?
No.
So you're up there all day, fucking watching that Chinese fucking animation shit.
But my anxiety was playing up.
Oh, don't talk so shit, man.
One of the things about growing up in Ebbw Vale when I was a kid is that it was one of the most isolated places in the world, because we didn't get a train station, a working train station to anywhere like Cardiff until like 2010, 2011. So, and also it was a steelworking town as well. So no one ever had ever had any excuse to leave. So you were just kind of like left with nothing to do. I grew up in a pretty average, like no income sort of family basically. My parents were really young having me, so like they were only like 17 when they had me, and kind of grew up on an estate. My father was a bit of a naughty boy. He was kind of in and out of prison a lot when I was a little kid, and my mother just worked in a hair salon. So I didn't really have much. Like all I really had was like 4 channels on television. I wasn't like the most assertive kid in the world, as you could tell probably from watching The Vale. A lot of Tony is kind of based on me, so I was just kind of like, I had like 1 or 2 friends, and then just kind of spent most of my time drawing and watching TV basically. And that most of my childhood is just, I don't know, like a lot of Tony is like me when I was younger basically. At the time I hated it, but now I love it because I got the nostalgia glasses on, and I love the fact I grew up there. But when I was growing up, and you're kind of getting like ripped on all the time and stuff, and all that for being like, because you're getting ripped on by all these like big rugby kids all the time because you just want to sit down drawing cartoons and comics all day. It's not that cool, but you know, once you kind of like figured out how to utilize it all into a cartoon, I guess it's all right. I guess, like, you know.
Tony, who the fuck do you think you are, you cheeky fucking fuck?
What's going on? What have I done?
I'm dead. No point in beating me up. Oh, what's this all about?
Oh, it's none of your fucking business, boy. Keep your beak out.
Rugby.
Tony, is that true? Did you really say those things about Kate?
What? No, she's just my friend.
So hard we haven't. Oh, so hard we haven't.
Don't fucking lie to me, you fat little fuck.
Rich, I promise you, I don't fancy her.
Come on, I thought you were solid. I thought you were a fucking big man.
Rich, please, I didn't do anything. I don't know what I apparently done here. She's my friend. Look, I promise you, she's my friend. I wouldn't touch her.
Oh my god, I'm gonna fucking come in a minute. Oh, fucking hell. Go on, Rich. Go on, Rich.
She's my friend. She's your girlfriend. Believe me, I know that. Rich, please, don't do this. I'm sorry. Please. The Vale started in 2019. Like I said, completely on a whim. 4 years, it's dominated 4 years of my life. Like 4 years of my life has been spent in this room at this computer every single day up until like 1 or 2 in the morning drawing it. It is quite sad that it's all coming to an end, but also you kind of like, it's like, being a big fan of television, you don't really want it to go on for too long. So like when we started at series 3 up, very early on, I was kind of like to the guys, this should be the last series of The Vale. The response has been great. I mean, I never expected it to go past, like, I think when we first started, we had like 10 subscribers or something, and no one watched it. It was literally just made for me and my friends, and also just for something for me to do, because we never sat down and was like, oh, let's make something that everyone's going to watch. It was literally just made as something selfishly for me and the guys that will make it to kind of watch and enjoy. But Ebbw Vale has kind of embraced it. I mean, a lot of people in Ebbw Vale really enjoy it, but also other Valleys towns really enjoy it as well. So I sometimes I get recognised when I go to places like Bridgend, like even Swansea and stuff, and people will tap me on the shoulder and be like, "Oh, you the guy that makes The Vale," and all that sort of stuff, which is amazing. And I'll just direct you. There's always so much pressure when you have to direct someone to somewhere you know very well with a car when you don't drive.
Do you feel pressure for that?
Yeah, because I know how to walk there like a punk. This is the street I grew up on, and it was that house, that yellow house by there, that mustard yellow house. That was my old house, number 68.
On the day of the screening of the final episode, Adam took me, along with some of the other crew members of the Vale, to Ebbw Vale to show us around his hometown, where the cartoon is based, as well as taking us to the cinema where the show would be playing later that night to a packed audience. What struck me was a very typical Welsh Valleys town, remnant of its old mining days. It felt somewhat isolated from the modern world, but with a charm and character you don't get in the city. It became apparent just how much of a following the show had here, as Adam was recognised by locals and many of the people I spoke to knew about the show. Although having never visited Ebbw Vale before, it all felt somewhat familiar. I was able to recognise many of the locations of the town from the cartoon. I realised just how important these formative years had been for Adam in inspiring his creativity.
Just popping into my nan's house for a quick cup of tea before the screening. Hello, Nan.
Oh, I like
Is that coffee, is it? You were having coffee.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's alright. Just from the charity shop, is it? Hello?
Say something to try, Daddy, try.
What? What am I going to say? Oh, it's repeating what I'm saying.
What do you think of the cartoon?
What do I think of what?
The cartoon, The Vale.
Oh, it's good. It's really good, but it's not my cup of tea. I'd rather the Real Housewives. Put that in.
What is it that's not your cup of tea?
Oh, it's good. It's clever. But it's just some of the things, bits.
The visuals, is it?
No, some of the things that said, and I thought you were saying them.
Oh, no, he's never sworn on the Vale.
I don't swear.
He gives that to all the other characters.
Oh, that's okay then. That's alright then.
And I tell my mother the exact same thing.
She's telling lies then.
Well,
what does she think about it?
She doesn't watch it.
She doesn't.
No, I know for a fact my mother wouldn't like that.
It's not, it's...
My father likes it.
Yeah. How old's your mum?
63.
Oh, I'm going to do that again. She wouldn't like it, I wouldn't like it. So as you can see why I don't like it, can I? I do like it. It's a good cartoon about animation and that, and it's based in Ebbw Vale, and you can tell where the places are and everything. Where the top and that.
Go on, give me a kiss at that.
I can't reach that. That's enough.
So today we are in Ebbw Vale, which is the setting for the cartoon that we are regretfully involved in, called The Vale.
Called The Vale.
Which Adam forced us to join him on.
And we are doing a screening in Bryn Mawr, which is 10 minutes down the road.
And we are contractually obliged to say it is the Wales's oldest cinema. For the journey of The Vale, it's been a long one. It's been a tough one.
It's been quite a few
years. It's been a great one.
Yeah, it's been like a few years, and I forget because you just do a bit and then you do something else and then you go back to it.
Because we're involved obviously in the writing and the voices, but Adam slogs away at it.
Yeah, animated.
And we are sort of asked to look over what he's done and give feedback.
And tweak things if things need to be tweaked.
But initially it was just this 1 minute or 2 minute joke that he did for, I'm pretty sure he said, he started doing it because him and Dodge were talking out the back, and he used to do a voice for Dodge, who used to live with me and Adam. And him and Dodge used to laugh a lot about it, so he thought, I'll put that in the cartoon. And then we all watched it back, and we thought, that's really funny actually. And I thought that was just going to be a one-off. I thought, well done. I thought, well done, that's quite good, that.
Yeah.
And then he called me into his bedroom like a week later, and he said, come and do another voice for me, I'm doing another one. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So we just started riffing on dialogue and characters and stuff.
And it was a bit longer, that episode, I imagine.
Yeah, it was about 5 minutes. Yeah, and it just took off from there then. I think after episode 3 was really where we kind of knew where we were going.
And you started to think of, I think Adam started to plan out the stories a bit more.
Yeah.
And then I didn't get involved until at the end of series 1, the beginning of series 2.
No, you were in on the writing meeting for the last episode of series 1.
That's it, yeah.
Because we all got together in my living room, didn't we?
And it was a bit more planned out then. But we didn't outline, did we? And then from then on, it was all outlines and working through the story.
We started taking it more seriously.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that there's nothing wrong with ad-libbing or doing stuff freeform, but
Yeah.
We wanted to treat it like it was a proper show.
Yeah. So and then that's basically how it went then, and it got to the point now where the episodes are very long. So,
yeah. Oh my God, they're so long.
Yeah, I'm Jason Bishop. I'm one of the assistant animators on the Vale, and I helped. One day, Adam I was a fan. I started off as a fan of the Vale, and one day Adam said on Facebook, "Does anyone do animation out there who can give us a hand?" And so I said I'd volunteer, and we went down to Kong's in Cardiff one evening for one of the showings, and I met Adam, and then kind of gone from there really. What drew me to the cartoon in the first place was I was just went to one of the Cardiff animation events, and I looked on their Facebook group, and there was I think there was some posts to some local animation, and I saw the Vale, and I was like, well, what's this? Immediately I was just kind of like struck by like the simplicity of it, and it was just like the story and the humour of it all just really appealed to me. Even though I'm English, I've got friends in Merthyr and places like that, and I just kind of always found the Valley humour really hilarious, and so I completely just related to it when I saw it, and just thought it was like genius. Yeah, I just really found it fascinating as an artist, how something so simple could be so funny and so effective.
I'm Jacob. Been a fan of the show since the start, really. Got recommended by a friend and watched it all since it came out, straight away.
My name's Steve. I also was a fan of the show from very early on. I got recommended by my pal Jacob here, full name. Around about halfway through the first series, he said, "Has anyone seen, what's going on YouTube with this very sort of true to life Valley's comedy?" And yeah, since I'd say about series 1, episode 3, I've been watching it.
Yeah, the characters, gotta say, they really are. Even though, I wouldn't even say they're sort of like characterizations of people. A lot of people in the Vale genuinely do talk like that, especially the "Can you imagine that?"
Yeah, exactly.
The amount of times you'll hear that on a night out.
Can you imagine that, Jock? What are you thinking, Jock? Can you imagine that, Jockey? Can you imagine that, Jockey?
The mannerisms of the people in there is spot on, without just even being over sensationalized or anything.
And I think you do see a lot of programs like this. Isn't so much in the vein of Gavin and Stacey, and I won't name the programs, but I think when something like Gavin and Stacey became so popular, there was this clamour to create like this idea of what Welshness looks on the screen. And I think back to things like the pot noodle advert, which while quite amusing, is effectively like using a stereotype to belittle a country, so like the noodle mines. Whereas with something like the Vale, as opposed to like the sort of humdrum regular Welsh comedies, or inverted commas Welsh comedies that you see on the screen, this is more true to life in the valleys, more, like Jake said, non-exaggerated, where in some certain perhaps more mainstream comedies you will see like this hyperbolic exaggeration of what a character looks like, and it is borderline offensive even if it's written by Welsh people who lived in the valleys. It's effectively a caricature of something, whereas the Vale is perhaps more of a let's see what we could do with these characters, let's see what we could do with them, what outcomes that we get as a result. I know the creators of the Vale are very keen on telling stories, in particular from Ebbw Vale, given like the rich history with the steelwork, the rich history of the town, and effectively what happens once that kind of point of industry is taken away. So I think it has a richness to it just because of that sincerity.
So describing the Vale to an outsider, it's so tricky. Obviously, if you're from the area, like straight away you recognise everything. There's a real sense of familiarity there. But we have fans that aren't from Ebbw Vale that get it, because these things, they don't have to be specific to Ebbw Vale. Every small town, every small country has its own quirks, and if you watch The Simpsons, even though you're not American, you still get it, because it doesn't insult your intelligence. It opens up that world and allows you to take a peek at it, and you get it.
Ebbw Vale, Aberdare, Maesteg, Merthyr. I think all of those towns that are in the valleys, they've all got the same vibe, they've all got the same feel, they've all got the similar people.
Yeah.
And I think if you
sense of like they're quite community-ish.
Yeah. I think if you've been born and brought up in those areas,
you could relate
like
to the Vale.
Me and Adam were talking about it on our way here today, and we were saying like when you get closer to the area that you were brought up in, you just start getting this sense of comfort with where you are.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And I know it's been spoken about before. With certainly, it seems to be very much a Welsh thing. Like I always remember hearing someone saying there's the word Hiraeth.
Oh yeah.
And I think it translates as the pull of home.
I think so, yeah.
And I absolutely feel that when I go to Aberdeen, and I know Adam feels that when he comes to Ebbw Vale.
Yeah.
And I can see why, because, as I said, to me, Ebbw Vale is the same as Aberdeen. And as you said, it's the same as my state.
With the show being about Ebbw Vale, by somebody from Ebbw Vale, it's truly a love letter to Ebbw Vale. Even though it's taken the piss, taken the mick out of Ebbw Vale, it all comes from a place of love, and it so accurately represents the area, the people in the area, and what they're, because you always get these sort of filmmakers coming from the city, and they want to make a show about the valleys, you know, and the steelworks, and it just, they don't get it. They just don't get the heart at the center of Ebbw Vale, and what it can lead to creatively once you really look behind, you know, that surface level stuff of the sort of, you know, the struggling industry town. It really perfectly encapsulates Ebbw Vale at its heart, and it does take the piss, but it comes from a place of love, and that's something that outsiders could never do with the area, because it seemed like it was coming from a place of malice, but it all comes from a place of love.
From when we first started, which was probably back in about 2019, I kind of started helping out, to where we are now, where it's been shown in the cinema. I think we always kind of joked, Adam and I, that one day that it would kind of be cool to show it on a big screen. So to see it now being on a big screen is, I guess it wasn't really expected, but when Adam told me, I just thought that was wicked.
The screening tonight, I think, is pretty great. Is in Wales's oldest cinema, Market Hall. Pretty iconic cinema, especially for people of Ebbw Vale and the surrounding areas. A lot of history in that thing, and you know, having a show about Ebbw Vale being screened in a cinema in Ebbw Vale is pretty fantastic, really.
I think it's going to be a good laugh.
Yeah, it'll be fun, and there's going to be loads of people, like 200 plus, I think, it booked. So, and 200 plus people who like the show, so that'll be good.
It's such an iconic venue, and it's one of the oldest cinemas in Wales, if not the oldest. And I just think it's so befitting for a series like this that's grown from a seed of an idea about showing a true to life, or perhaps slightly exaggerated, but still true to life, affectionate love letter to the valleys, for it then to be staged in what is, you know, such a local, national and global iconic venue is incredible to see, really.
I expect big laughs tonight, some guffaws, some shocks. I'm really hoping that the crowd really enjoy the episodes as much as we've enjoyed making them. Tonight is going to be amazing. It's wonderful that we get to host it in the Market Hall Cinema in Bryn Mawr.
My name's James Trott. I'm the cinema manager for the Market Hall Cinema here in Bryn Mawr, Wales' oldest cinema. And tonight we're very proud and very happy and pleased to have the Vale season 3 finale final episodes, the premiere, red carpet event.
Hello! Oh, can you imagine such a thing? Guys, thank you all so much for coming out this evening, for supporting the Vale, supporting the Market Hall Cinema. Truly, from all of us, it means the world that you've all spent your hard-earned money to watch something you can see on YouTube for free next week. For those of you who don't know, my name's Josh. I'm a producer on the Vale, writer. I do the voice of Justin, which is nobody's favourite character. But my most important role on the Vale is talking Adam down from a ledge. The night before an episode goes up, oh, I'm going to pull the plug on this, I'm going to pull it. So, for those of you who don't know Adam, you might have seen him hanging off the A465 bridge on your way in. We managed to get into, honestly, there was nowhere else that we would rather host this tonight than the Market Hall Cinema. Absolutely. So please continue to support the Market Hall Cinema, because when Adam was 9 years old, he managed to convince his dad to bring him here, who in turn managed to convince the cinema staff to let this 9-year-old watch the South Park movie. So I can't think of any more fitting end than for Adam to be able to display his work in the very cinema that inspired him in the first place. So thank you so much to the Market Hall Cinema. I do believe that is everything. So I know that some of you have come from Wiltshire tonight, from Hampshire, Essex, Scotland. I heard we even have somebody from Tredegar. So thank you all so much. It gives me great pleasure to say this. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and Ebbw Vale Productions proudly brings to you the heavyweight champions of the world of comedy, the cast, the crew, the Vale!
Fucking hell, what's happening right here? Yeah, this is more than 30 people, so that's pretty cool, I guess. Not really a man of public speaking and stuff. All I'm going to say is repeat what Hooper said, and thank you all for coming. Thanks to Cinema for having us, and hope you all enjoy the show, I guess. That's all I'm going to do. So, and one more thing, these guys have to remind me. Everyone get over to the Talisman pub afterwards, because we're going to have a couple of beers, get some Nickelback on the jukebox. It's going to be a good one. Don't you worry about it. Thanks for coming, guys.
I don't know what to do. There's nothing you can do, my boy. All you have now is the call centre.
But I don't want the fucking call centre. You're supposed to tell me everything's gonna be okay. Like in that fucking Lion King film.
Yeah, we came down from Essex. The Vale was absolutely genius. Thank you so much for letting us attend and visit your town. This is great. Thank you.
Comedy gold, we love it. Worth the trip. Good work, boys.
After 4 years of hard work, the show was finally over. It all began as a simple idea, a joke between friends, but it soon grew into something that touched the lives of many people in a forgotten corner of the world. The Vale was not just a low-budget cartoon with silly humour, but a story-rich masterpiece with a great narrative, excellent observational comedy and clever character arcs. At its core, The Vale was about a boy coming to terms with his childhood and paying homage to his hometown and the role it played in shaping him into the man he is today. The show's success culminated in a live cinema screening that drew in not only the hometown fans but also those who travelled from other parts of the UK. The Vale's creator, Adam, and his crew have been commissioned for a BBC series, which is something to look forward to. However, in the present moment, witnessing a snapshot in time of a moment in history was a privilege. Perhaps over time The Vale will find a larger audience, but for now it has succeeded in recording what life in the Welsh valleys was like during this time period. The Vale was a testament to what can be achieved when people get together and create art just for the fun of it. This show was created by a group of friends and has left an indelible mark on the people of the Welsh valleys, resonating with them in a way that is hard to describe. The Vale was more than just a show, it was a labour of love that brought joy and laughter to so many, something that can never be taken away from the show's creators. To quote The Vale, "Can you imagine that?" Ultimately, this is the story of one man's home, his youth, his group of friends and his family, and of course, a cartoon.